My kid's Spider-Man soap is gonna be in the background for this entire Vlogmas intro. Hello, Vlogmas. It has been an interesting holiday season for me. Maybe not interesting, maybe more like I don't want to be here. I want off this ride type of holiday season. And I'm finally recording this so that tomorrow morning I can finally put away my Christmas decorations. I've been keeping them up because I knew that I wanted them to be in my background for Vlogmas, because it is Vlogmas after all. And I also just have been pushing off the cleanup part of Christmas. I do the indoors, my husband does the outdoors. He put away our outdoor lights like on January 1st. And it is like January 8th today. So I'm unsure of what I wanted to talk about in this outro, in this intro. George, what are you doing? Other than just how I don't know, I feel like I'm barely hanging on to book 2. Just trying to find the time to record has been a challenge of its own. I mostly started book 2. George, I mostly started book 2 because I've been reading a lot and I wanted to talk to the internet about the things that I've read. So mostly in the form of wrap-ups, of monthly wrap-ups. And I want to say in 2022, I did monthly vlogs where I would just like compile snippets of whatever footage I captured of like my reading life to, you know, like lo-fi background music. And that would be my output in addition to whatever tags I was honored to be tagged in. And now in 2020, at the tail end of 2023 and going into 2024, I feel like I'm only gonna get busier, gonna have less time to record monthly wrap-ups, but I'm trying to be proactive and trying to find solutions and just better habits and schedules and try to stick with them. And I'm saying all of this because this is the time of year when we're talking about like New Year resolutions. So those are mine. And speaking of tags, don't think I forgot Audrey of Audrey Approved, who tagged me in the in or out book tag, which I shall just commence with no further ado. Because I just don't know what to talk about in vlogs. Like, I'm a Korean vlogger. I don't talk in vlogs. I just shoot what I see and that's all you get from me. Oh my God, one of the things that changed for me in 2024 is my husband just brought home a random notepad and he was like, I don't know, you seem to need a lot of scratch paper, so I just brought you a notepad. And I have been using it. It's been so helpful. And just seeing Renee with her freaking whiteboard, I wanna be a part of that. Okay. In or out book tag. And this is just, again, going to be another rapid fire and off the top of my head type of thing with no like previous thought put into it. Number 1, reading the last page first. Absolutely out. Are you a heathen? No. 2, enemies to lovers. Absolutely. Although I'm kind of hard pressed to think of the last enemies to lovers book that I've read. The only thing that I'm thinking of is the classic like Bridgerton season 2, which I know is a book. I haven't read it. I'm not ever gonna, but Canzoni is definitely a thing that just lives very happily in my head. 3, dream sequences. I'm gonna say out. I don't think any book that I've read with a dream sequence I've particularly enjoyed. If anything, I go like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you doing this? Like, to the author, I'm like, why are you writing this? I know, like. Number 4, love triangles. Ooh, and I find love triangles to be just so juicy, so gossipy. The best one for me is the manga Nana. There are multiple love triangles. I want to say there are like 3 love triangles in that story. Very in. 5, cracked spines. Very in. Like I'm trying to shop primarily in used bookstores. I mean, mainly because I volunteer every week at a Friends of the Library bookstore, and so I'm just around a lot of used books in general. And there's just nothing hotter than seeing a well-loved book. So very in. And also, like, personally for me and my bookshelf, I love seeing the books that I purchased brand new and seeing their cracked spines. I just look at them and go, this is why I keep you. This is why you live in my house. 6, back to my small town. I don't think I've read a book with that trope. And I know that that kind of sounds like a romance genre book, or yeah, like a romance book. I want to say, is there like a Curtis Sittenfeld book with that trope? Maybe. So you know what? I'm just going to say in, because that sounds kind of cozy. I'm all for cozy. So I'll say in. 7, monsters are regular people. I mean, I guess classically, or most famously, the classic example is Frankenstein. I'm really neither. My son and my husband are playing games downstairs. That's that cackling. Monsters are regular people. I'll just say yes. Although I don't know, it's been a while since I've read Frankenstein. I'm neither here nor there, to be honest. Number 8, no paragraph breaks. I'm very out if, I mean, I am thinking of Milkman by Anna Burns. I believe that book has no paragraph breaks, but luckily it had short chapters, so it was very doable. I kind of recently purchased Duck's Newburyport, which is like a thick boy. And that book also has no page breaks, but it is also like a chonker. And it has been the primary reason why I haven't touched it since I bought it. So, out. Number 9, multi-generational sagas. Very in. I mean, the classic example is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. I love Pachinko. If I see a summary of a book that says it has a multi-gen saga, I will be more in than out, yeah. Number 10, rereading. Very in. I might be like the mayor of rereading. It's so important to reread. Like first of all, you read books when you're young, and then you should reread them again when you grow up to see if it was good or if you were young. And then you should also keep rereading to see, every 10 years to see where you stand on things and how much you've changed over the years, or just like you read something else that kind of challenges what you previously thought about something, which I'm currently in with Anna Karenina, because I love War and Peace, but when I was reading Anna Karenina, it was like half hate read for me. And I was seeing all of the character parallels. Ugh. Number 12, artificial intelligence. I don't think I've read a single book featuring artificial intelligence. And I would say that it's because you would probably find that more in sci-fi, which I don't really read. I think the only sci-fi that I've read recently has been Kim Bo-young. And I'm trying to remember if there was any artificial intelligence. There might have been where they were, yes, there were. They were robots, basically. They were. So, you know what? I really liked those short stories. I really love those 2 short story books. So I'm going to say I am all in. They challenge, like any sci-fi, they're like ciphers of humanity, like a mirror of society, a reflection of our own society. Number 12, drop caps. So I had to Google this to see what it meant. And it basically is when you see, I'll insert the image, but I'm neither here nor there. I don't think of myself as a very aesthetic reader. I'm interested, what's the word? I'm really not a traditional reader. Like, I don't have expectations of what a page should look like. I'm all about like experimenting with the page, especially in poetry. So I don't hold any standards of how a page should look. So yeah, out. Number 13, happy endings. I'm actually gonna say out because while I love happy endings, you know, like it feels good in the brain, there's just something lingering about an unhappy ending. And just off the top of my head, like in my December readings, I was very frustrated by the famously unhappy ending of Anna Karenina. And it's not like I, you know, expected or wanted a happy ending. Like, it was just sad. Like, it's just a tragic story. And, you know, you can't stop dwelling on it. And same thing with something a lot less famous, a lot less classic, Sisterland by Curtis Sittenfeld, that also has, you would argue, an unhappy ending. It just has one of those endings where once I finished the book, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that those were the choices made, that's what happened, that's that's how the plot will proceed. Like, ugh. So unhappy ending, you know, like happy endings get tied neatly with a bow. That's fine. But I personally prefer it if I'm gonna linger over something. And usually that's because it's just something more wrenching. Number 14, plot points that only converge at the end. I am so in for this. To me, that is like, I mean, I already think that beautiful writing of itself, or just like fabulous writing of itself, is a magic trick. But when you're creating like all these intricacies and different plot points that you connect all together at the end, like, I just want to stand up and applaud. So, and just this year, like Whale by Chun Myung-kwan is a great example of that happening. Like, I was literally weeping. So very in, throwing bouquets and gleefully applauding. Number 15, detailed magic systems. So I'm not much of a fantasy reader, but the only thing that I can recall for this is the Song of Fire and Ice series, like the Game of Thrones books. And I was very, very into, like, they weren't like detailed magic systems, but just like the intricacies of like that world and how magic played into it. Like, I am reading the Lord of the Rings books, but I wouldn't even categorize that in this detailed magic systems. So I am very much in for this when it's done well, obviously. Okay, I was once more interrupted. And once again, I was interrupted. First time was for feeding my child dinner, and then the second time was to put him to bed because it's bedtime. I'm trying to find new recording spaces within my house. It is in process. We shall see how that goes. Back to the tag. Number 16, classic fantasy races. I had to Google this again because I was thinking of like running a race, but no, it means like an elf, an orc, a dwarf. So yeah, I am all in. I love reading about stereotypes, but like obviously done well, like done smartly, where the writer talks about different types of people and finding connections to things, and done, like, written in a very clever way. Like, I feel like Agatha Christie does this very well. I'm currently reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and obviously Tolkien does this very well. Very in. Number 17, unreliable narrators. I am so in for this. I love when I'm reading a book and I'm realizing that we've got an unreliable narrator here. It just takes the book into such a totally different path. Like, oh, I'm in for this kind of ride. Okay. let me make sure I'm strapped in even more. Extra securely strap myself in. Number 18, evil protagonist. Ooh. So right off the bat, in December, I read A Certain Hunger. We've got a female Hannibal Lecter plotline. It was very fun. I'm gonna say in. I love a good like anti-hero or just straight up evil, evil protagonist. Number 19, The Chosen One. So again, I'm kind of having a hard time thinking of a book that has The Chosen One. And maybe it's just because Audrey tagged me and she recommended The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. And there is a like chosen one trope happening in that narrative, but not like the kind of chosen one that I think the chosen one typically means. Like, I think we typically think of the chosen one as like, you know, like Neo of the Matrix, or Clark Kent, or Superman, or Kal-El, that's his name, right? But in the chosen one, it's kind of the opposite of that. Like, there is a chosen one, but he is like the omega of a society, where he is the chosen one to put all of our blame onto. But I think that works, and it's very sad, but it made for an incredibly heart-wrenching, heartbreaking story. So I'm gonna say in. Even though I think I did like a hot or not tag, and The Chosen One was one of them, and I said not because I prefer a collective. So like, I don't really like The Chosen One with like a Superman type of thing, but I am in for The Chosen One if it's something like The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. Number 20, When the Protagonist Dies. Ooh, right off the bat, I immediately think of the classic Game of Thrones when they behead Ned Stark. And I mean, I watched the series first before reading the book, and remember feeling the biggest shock when that happened, and was pleasantly surprised to find that I still felt the same level of grievance during the reading experience, and how unsettling that is. So yes, very in for When the Protagonist Dies. Ooh, again with The Summer That Melted Everything. Was he the protagonist? Just when like somebody important dies. Oh yeah, spices things up. Number 21, really long chapters. I am so out. I can only hold on for so long. Like, one of the graces of Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy is that the chapters are relatively short. So, I mean, I'm in for a long haul. I'm in for a chonker, but please make it be short chapters. Number 22, French Flaps. Yeah, very in. Maybe they're like my preferred book form. I do enjoy a hardcover because to me that means like I was there when it first came out. I bought like the first I bought the first edition from my Barnes and Noble. And French Flaps are like the paperback. Yeah, the paperback equivalent to that, or it just feels nice. I don't know why people love French Flaps so much, but it just feels nice. It looks nice. Very in. Number 23, Deckled Edges. Ooh, so I'm actually gonna say in. I know that a lot of people say out because they say that it's like it wastes more paper than not. It's uncomfortable. It's hard to flip the other page. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I immediately think of the Dear America series when I think of deckled edges. And so it's a nostalgic thing for me. So if I see a book that's not Dear America and it has deckled edges, like, you know, I get what they're trying to do. Like, it's fine. To me, it's fine. Number 24, signed copies by the author. Is there a world where people say out for this? Like, of course I'm in. Like, there's nothing better seeing a used book that's signed by the author at like a used bookstore, especially if it's obviously like a sign from a reading that the previous owner went to, and it's like a personalized message, or just, you know, like if it's just like a bland signature of the author, you know what? I'm gonna say out. But if it's a personalized message with the author signature, that is so hot. That is very in. Number 25, dog-eared pages. I'm gonna say in. It just shows that it's been used, it's been loved, it's been read, it's been thought upon. It shows the markings of the reader. That's very in. Number 26, chapter titles instead of numbers. I'm neither here nor there about it, because for me, if it makes sense for that book, like fine. And I get like for nonfiction books, for example, a lot of the chapters have named titles as opposed to numbered titles. And so that makes sense. Even if it's in a fiction book, it has a Certain Hunger had name titles, and yes, like it kind of hints to what the chapter is going to be about, but like in a romp like that, it makes sense. Like it's corny, it's cheesy, like as long as it makes sense, yes, it's in. So that was the in or out book tag. Thanks so much, Audrey, for tagging me. Sorry it took me a while to get to this. I feel like this Vlogmas series has really been like a marathon to get through the end of the year, and now we're finally at the new year and we can start fresh, and I will hopefully have like a new setup in the background. You can finally stop seeing my mess. Hopefully. And just new year, new me, baby. I'm trying to manifest this by actively trying to make it happen. Doing things to make it happen. So thank you so much for watching my for watching and taking my chaotic December energy. And I hope 2024 is kind to us all. That, I don't know, we kind of get our shit together more this year. I mean, not you. I assume that you all have your shits very tied up in a bow. I want for myself, for me to get my shit together more for 2024. Manifesting. So this is the portion where you see all of my B-roll, my captured footage, and whatever I got to during the first week of January. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you again very soon. Poke. For hours and hours. Because it's after Christmas and New Year's. That looks so good. Yes. Russian gold. Getting a whole box, just one pack. Spaghetti. Like this? Yep. Favorite aisle. Ooh, Vermont curry sale. Yes. put it in the fridge, the fat will solidify, and then just take the fat out. Strain and reboil. Booga. Because I went to the Crane Market the day after January 1st, all of the sliced rice cakes were sold out. And the only ones left were these like overpriced fancy ones. I forgot the green onion. I'm obsessed with this corn ice cream and Julie Cho. Oh, I've been vlogging lately. How can they give this away? Room to grow. That was so good. No, not by the shoes.
You're gonna lose, I think.
Let's see.
Nope, you're not gonna get there anymore. Nope.
And I texted Vienna and everything. And I was like, I don't think it will, but okay. 50%, thank you.
Oh, good. All right, enjoy.
Not the place to look anymore? I was just looking online anyway.
Micro Center, that's where I got my first.
The title is Winter in California.
Love that sun. I sure do.
You love your son.
I do love my son.